Hello everyone, this will also be a little bit of a different video than I normally make. NetEase, through their Underhill report, just released some additional information about Rise to War 2.0 or Rise to War 2.0 Plus, as I believe it is now being called. I figured it might be fun and interesting to go ahead and watch the video together, and I can share my opinion on some of the upcoming changes. I know it's pretty controversial in the community. I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible. Just to throw it out there, there are some things in 2.0 that I like, and there are some things in 2.0 that I dislike. But let's go ahead and get into it.
Hello, tacticians. I'm Jared Underhill, Senior Community Manager for the Lord of the Rings Rise to War.
Actually, I might need to turn it up real quick. Give me a second to turn it up. All he did is he said, "Hey, I'm Jared Underhill." He's the community manager. So I'm going to turn it up, and I'll be back in just a second.
More news with you about the upcoming release of
Okay,
the
hopefully
2.0
that's
Plus
better in
version
terms of the
game.
sound.
Not long ago, we held a live meeting with some veteran tacticians and fearless pioneers to discuss the proposed upcoming.
It was actually a really good meeting, by the way. I'm going to try not to pause this like a million times as we go through it, for the sake of time. It was actually a super nice meeting. It was really cool being able to interface with some of the developers and hear their explanation of why they are making some of these changes.
Roadmap for the Lord of the Rings Rise to War. We are still adjusting the new content based on the feedback we have received with the hope of bringing an exciting, brand new Middle-earth to all tacticians. Apart from the changes to the battle system, updates like the introduction of high-quality graphics.
I will say the sound, the background sound is a bit loud.
Battle experience to Middle-earth. Without
Or
further
Jared's
ado,
quiet,
let's
one of the
take
two.
a look at the roadmap ahead so that you can get a better idea of how version 2.0 Plus is going to be rolled out. Version 2.0 Plus's launch is going to be divided into several phases. Pre-registration phase. The pre-registration event will be...
All right, I will pause it here and take a look at the actual roadmap. For some reason, it's kind of been going around the Discords recently that in like 20 days, they're dropping the entire 2.0 Plus like onto live servers. I don't think that that's true. I mean, I don't know that it's not true, but based on this roadmap, it looks like in early November, we're going to have whatever the update phase is. Then they're going to do a test for the engine, which I believe people will be able to apply for. And then they're going to do another PBE. And then it looks like in December, they're releasing it, unless 2.0 plus plus is like an update to 2.0 plus. I do really wish that they were like, had a little bit more clarity here. It would be really nice to know, is 2.0 dropping in November, like in a couple of weeks? Or is it going to be rolled out in December towards the end of the year? And I would really, I don't know if any developers or anything are going to watch this, so maybe it's going to fall on deaf ears. I would highly advise not dropping this on currently active servers. I just can't see a way that that would be done without significantly disturbing currently in progress seasons. I think if they want to roll it out in early November, if they feel like it's ready, that's their call to make. However, I think it would have to impact new campaigns, just like all the other updates that they've done to this game in the past have done. Anytime they add new stuff, they're like, hey, this, for the most part, I'm sure there's some little things that have impacted all servers, but in terms of major changes, it's always been, currently running servers have the old rules. Servers that start after this date are going to have the new rules. I think that's the kind of thing that they would want to do again.
Be ongoing throughout the version 2.0 Plus update, so tacticians can pre-register on the event page. By reaching certain milestones, every tactician will earn rewards.
I wish these rewards were a bit better, by the way.
Will not affect
1,200 gems is kind of like...
update phase. As of right now, this update will be centered around the content being tested during PvE, which includes the new battle system, changes to commanders, and equipment. We will optimize details around the update based on feedback received in PvE.
And I think that this is an important part, an important point that he's making, is them saying that they want the community feedback. And having been involved in testing of things in other games in the past, and kind of not working alongside developers, but providing feedback to developers, I think it's important to be constructive with your feedback and your criticism. If you don't like something, that's fine. But imagine you're a developer for a second and you're going to release some new update, some balance patch, whatever. So you give your players a preview of it and they just say, "Oh my goodness, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. It's horrible." What actionable stuff can you do with that kind of feedback? However, conversely, if you said something like, "Hey, I don't like the new formation system because I think that having to invest in 4 commanders is going to make the game significantly more pay to win. Could we explore some options of not implementing the formation system or cutting it down to maybe 2 or 3 commanders per march?" For example, there are other games in this genre, like Rise of Kingdoms, uses 2 commanders per march. Not that big a deal. Epic Age used 3 commanders per march. Not that big a deal. It wasn't like a hugely significant change to the level of investment. However, it did provide additional opportunities. So I think that would be the type of feedback. A lot of what I've seen in the channel is just like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible, I'm going to quit," which, like, you just can't do anything with that kind of feedback. And I'm not trying to shill for NetEase. They're not paying me to say something like that. It's just, if you want to positively impact the game, explain to them why you think something is bad and how you would fix it. That's the kind of feedback that they can work with.
And continue to adjust the balance between commander and equipment to ensure a more fair, equal battle system upon release. We also want to acknowledge and guarantee the time and resources tacticians have invested into their favorite commanders and equipment, and will continue to have a stable performance in version 2.0. Version 2.0 plus phase.
All right, let's take a look at the map real quick. This actually looks so much nicer graphically, in my opinion. Like, way, way nicer, which is cool to see.
Engine revamp test. In addition to the new battle system,
hopefully the performance of the engine will be a bit better too, because in like huge battles, the performance of the current engine, and I know there's only so much they can do when there's like 800 to 1,000 armies marching all in one place and all those battles are being calculated on the back end. I know there's only so much they can do. It's kind of shocking sometimes that it doesn't just crash the entire server, but it would be nice if some type of optimization could happen so that you could actually play during those big fights rather than just like waiting for your army to get hit and then taking a full minute to click through things to reinforce.
We will also be revamping the game engine in version 2.0 with the upgraded visuals.
That's really cool, Minas Tirith, by the way. That's really nice looking.
And scenarios. Higher quality graphics and a smoother, less clunky interface.
Oh, wait a second. I need to go back, actually, because I think there's something important here. So this is interesting. Aragorn is now actually curving. The march is curving. So currently, if you're going to cross an obstruction like mountains or rivers, your army just goes across it like it doesn't matter. This seems to imply that now things like rivers and mountains and other obstructions may actually matter in terms of the pathing of an army, which could be majorly impactful. Now, I don't know that that's going to be a change. It's just something that I noticed from this portion of the video, and I actually didn't notice the first time I watched this video, but that is really interesting. So I wonder what you guys would think about that. But would that be a cool change for the game or a not a good change for the game? You can let me know in the comments if the units that are in an army impact the way in which they move across the map.
And scenarios. Higher quality graphics and a smoother, less clunky interface are also right around the corner. For this update, we will be opening a TF test to optimize the engine.
So this army is going straight. Here's another little part of it. Okay, so look here. We have Aragorn riding on eagles. We have Gimli with what look like guardians or maybe shield bearers. Can't really tell. Or maybe it's just the normal dwarves. We don't know what the normal dwarves look like here. So Aragorn, the arrows are different slightly than these arrows. So that seems to imply a different type of movement in general, but also Gimli is curving around the mountain while Aragorn is just flying over the mountain. So perhaps different types of units will be interacting with actual terrain on the map in different ways.
Compatibility and graphical smoothness. Tacticians will be able to download the test client,
which that's pretty cool,
seeing them go
over the mountain like that.
Once the first phase of version 2.0 Plus is live, we'll be opening registration for a second PvE.
I wish they had updated the graphics on commanders. Those look basically the same. Here's something weird too. These tiles, and maybe they're not even tiles anymore, but they look way smaller. It's just like a straight up grid now, rather than tiles. So I don't know if they're changing that system, but maybe they are.
New marching system and changes to the map. Mountains, rivers, and forests on the map will influence your marching army.
Oh, he just said it. They're going to influence your marching army. So I think we are going to see different types of units travel in different ways, which that would be an exciting change,
will also be introduced
in my opinion.
Version 2.0 Plus, new marching system. Shortly after the second PvE ends, the final version of 2.0 Plus will be officially released.
Okay, so he said shortly after the second PvE ends, the final version will be released. I believe that's what he said. This looks very different too, although it still does imply a tile system.
In this new version, a more dynamic and awe-inspiring Middle Earth will be waiting for you to explore with realistic 360-degree battlefield. The core gameplay will be kept in this new version with upgraded battle, marching, and commander features to balance the entire gaming environment. We hope each and every commander.
I hope they do actual balance changes as things go on. That's one thing that has been really not great about the game so far.
Creating the highest quality mobile game for tacticians.
I'm gonna turn down a little bit.
Feedback and guides for version 2.0 Plus. Version 2.0 Plus is a quintessential update to the game, so we have set up several ways to help tacticians adapt to new content. Before each major version or function update, we will open a PvE or TF for testing to ensure we leave the opportunity for optimization of the final version to be based on the feedback we receive.
Okay, so that was super hard to hear. I don't know if you guys were able to hear that. And if any devs or community people do watch this, you really either need to turn up Jared or turn down the background music. Maybe I should turn on the subtitles. And I don't know how accurate they'll be. They're just auto-generated, I think. But it sounds like for any new updates going forward, they're going to utilize the test environment, which I think is a really, really good thing. And I was saying a minute ago, and I don't know if you guys could even hear me over the super loud background music. I really hope that we do see like not super consistent balance changes, because I wouldn't want the meta to change every week, but like, you know, maybe quarterly or something like that. So like every 4 months, even 3 to 4 months, roughly have some type of balance changes mostly to buff underperforming commanders. I think in most situations, unless something is grossly overperforming, buffing underperforming commanders tends to be more interesting than nerfing overpowered commanders, because you kind of run the risk in games where people like using powerful stuff, and if everything is super weak, it just feels kind of boring. If everything is super powerful, there's still options, but to me at least, that's more interesting.
FAQs. We will continue to update the Beacon of Light series with new information. The development team will select.
Yeah, this has had some good information in it. If you guys haven't read through it in the official Discord.
If your question hasn't been addressed yet, don't worry. We're still collecting feedback and questions to respond to in live meetings. We will continue hosting interviews for the tacticians in the community, inviting veteran tacticians such as longtime players.
Yeah, if anybody gets a chance to participate in a roundtable, I would highly advise it. It was super fun.
Band leaders, video makers, fearless pioneers, and more to join roundtable meetings with members of our development team. We hope that these live meetings will open a mutual communication channel for discussing real problems during gameplay, where we can come up with solutions to help improve our game together. We also want to sincerely thank those who have already participated in these meetings, including Fellow of the Ring, Larag, Ijibu, Furyu, Phoenix Gaming.
Hey, that's me! I got a shout out.
All Things Middle Earth.
Thank you.
We've already collected a great deal of valuable suggestions and feedback with their help. Query tool. Since there are so many changes to commander skills and equipment,
this part I think we'll skip. Don't really care that much about the query tool. I do think it's a good thing to have. That way people can kind of get a plan on what they want to do. However, I would say, at least my advice would be to wait until things are set in stone before you like start making major changes to your account. I
We
think
need to
let's go
post
to
more updates
here.
regarding version 2.0 Plus on our official social media. In the following months, we will be releasing more guides and information for 2.0 Plus and contacting fearless pioneers about creating more content for the coming update. We hope this plan will allow tacticians to familiarize themselves with the new content.
So yeah, speaking of new content, this is a really bad place
That's
to
everything
pause.
today for
Oh, this is the end
today's
anyway.
update.
I'll let him finish, and then
Before
I'll
ending,
sum
we'd
it
like to
up.
sincerely express our heartfelt gratitude for your support over the past 2 years. We're still striving
welcome,
to make
Jared,
our Middle Earth
for
a
our
better
support.
place for all tacticians. Please stay tuned for more official updates via our social media. If you have more feedback for the new content, please share it in the community or submit it via official channels like in the PvE. Again, thank you very much. See you on the battlefield.
All right. So basically, what I was going to say is, you guys have probably noticed I have not been posting content nearly as much. Part of that is just being busier in real life, but part of it is I really want to make a bunch of new content about 2.0. However, it's just not quite there yet. As in, we don't know exactly what all the final stuff is going to be like. There's still balance changes that could come through. We don't know all the new mechanics. I think it would actually be a pretty fun little game or thought experiment if you guys down in the comment section would want to guess on what some of these, not released mechanics are that they keep hinting at. It seems like, as we saw in these videos, different armies are going to march differently. There was a Balrog in there that was stationary, so it looks like bosses might be the same. However, it would probably be pretty cool if we had some update to the boss mechanics. Personally, I think it'd be cool if somehow the bosses were able to interact with the world. Like you would need to team up with your fellowship or your warband to take down these big scary bosses because they're hitting your tiles or they're hitting your base or whatever. Like in Rise of Kingdoms, there was an event that you could do where people's bases would get attacked by bad guys and you have to defend each other and stuff. And it was just a good time. And you got rewards based on like how many waves of enemies you killed. But long story short, I want to wait until things are more or less set in stone because I don't want to make a video and then like a week later have to make a video saying, hey, sorry guys, just completely disregard the video I made last week because now it's all wrong. There's still a lot of the meta to explore in my opinion, so I don't want to do like a tier list and give suggestions of which commanders people should invest in, and then people start investing in their in those commanders and spending money on their account, and then all of a sudden those commanders aren't good. So long story short, I do still want to keep making some content for this game, and I'm probably going to be making a bunch in the second round of the PvE because hopefully that'll be more of the finalized changes. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit different for me. It was my first time doing like reaction content, so please let me know down in the comments how you thought I did and anything that I could improve, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.